Today I will discuss about the rules for the formation of English tenses. What is tense? It expresses the time or state of an action. There are mainly three tenses in English language: present, past, and future. Present tense. It's an action or state that occurs in the present time. Past tense. An action or state that occurred in the past time. Future. An action or state that will occur in the future time. There are total 12 aspects of all these three English tenses: present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, present perfect continuous. For the past, past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous. For future, future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect, future perfect continuous. Before we move ahead, it's very important to understand the use of personal pronouns, which is very important for all the tenses. There are three cases. As you can see, subjective, singular, and plural. For singular, I, first person, you, second, and third, he, she, it. For plural, we, first, you, second, they, third. For possessive case, singular. First, my, mine. Second, your. Third, his, her, its. Plural possessive. First, our, ours. Second, your, yours. Third, their, theirs. For objective case, singular. First, me. Second, you. Third, him, her, it. For plural objective case, first, us. Second, you. Third, them. Let's do the aspects in present tense. So first of all, present indefinite. To form present indefinite for affirmative sentences, singular subject, first form of the verb with s or es. Plural subject, we will use first form of the verb, and there is exception of I and you. With I and you, we will use first form of the verb without s or es. For the negative sentences, we have two auxiliaries, does and do, and we will add not right after these auxiliaries. But with the exception of I and you, we use do auxiliary with I and you pronoun. Another important thing, we will not add s or es with the verb when we use do or does auxiliary. The sentences for present indefinite. Affirmative. I sleep early at night. Negative. I do not sleep early at night. Interrogative. Do I sleep early at night? Negative interrogative. Do I not sleep early at night? Present continuous tense. For the formation of present continuous for the affirmative sentences, singular subject, the use of auxiliary is and am. First form of the verb with ing structure and then object if there is any. For plural subject we have a auxiliary. We will use first form of the verb ing and object after that. For the negative sentences, we will add not after is, am, are. Let's move to the sentences now. Sentences for present continuous. Affirmative. I am cooking food. Negative. I am not cooking food. Interrogative. Am I cooking food? Negative interrogative. Am I not cooking food? So the placement of the not structure right after the subject for negative interrogative sentences. Present perfect. For the affirmative sentences, for singular subject, the auxiliary is has, and with that, third form of the verb will be used. When object, for plural subject, and with I and you pronoun, we use have, and with that, third form of the verb will be used. After that, object. For the negative sentences, with both of these auxiliaries has and have, we will add not right after them. The sentences for present perfect. Affirmative. She has worn a red dress for the party. Negative. She has not worn a red dress for the party. Interrogative. Has she worn a red dress for the party? Negative interrogative. Has she not worn a red dress for the party? Present perfect continuous. For the affirmative sentences, with the singular subject, auxiliary has been plus first form of the verb plus ing. The use of the object if there is any, and for the time frame we have since and for. For the plural subject and with I and you pronoun, we use have been, first form of the verb plus ing plus object, and after that for the time frame since or for. For the negative sentences, we will place not in the middle of has been, so it will be has not been, has not been. The time frame since and for. Since is used for a specific point in the time, and for will be used for a period of time. Let's see in examples. The sentences for present perfect continuous. Affirmative. You have been working on your assignment for the last 2 hours. Negative. You have not been working on your assignment for the last 2 hours. Interrogative. Have you been working on your assignment for the last 2 hours? Negative interrogative. Have you not been working on your assignment for the last 2 hours? In case if we had morning, a specific point in time, it could have been you have been working on your assignment since morning, that is telling a specific point in time. But the last 2 hours are showing the whole period of time. So for will be used. Now aspects in past tense. The first aspect, past indefinite. For the formation of past indefinite for the affirmative sentences, for the subject, whether it be singular or plural, second form of the verb will be used and right after is the object. For the negative sentences, there is only one auxiliary did, with that we will use not. And one important thing to remember, whenever we will use did auxiliary, whether in negative sentence or interrogative, we will not use second form of the verb. With auxiliary did, we will always use first form of the verb. Sentences for past indefinite. Affirmative. She went to a grocery shop yesterday. Negative. She did not go to a grocery shop yesterday. Interrogative. Did she go to a grocery shop yesterday? Negative interrogative. Did she not go to a grocery shop yesterday? As you can see, wherever we have added did, there is first form of the verb. Negative, interrogative, and negative interrogative sentences. Past continuous. For the past continuous affirmative sentences with singular subject, was will be used with first form of the verb plus ing. For the plural subject, we have were auxiliary. After that, we will use first form of the verb plus ing. And after that, object if there is any. For the negative sentences, we will add not after was and were. So it will be was not, were not. Sentences for past continuous. Affirmative. I was baking a red velvet cake in the kitchen. Negative. I was not baking a red velvet cake in the kitchen. Interrogative. Was I baking a red velvet cake in the kitchen? Negative interrogative. Was I not baking a red velvet cake in the kitchen? Past perfect. Affirmative sentences. After the subject, whether it be singular or plural, we have one auxiliary that is had. With that, we will use third form of the verb and after that object. For the negative sentences, we will add not after had and then third form of the verb. Sentences for past perfect. Affirmative. The killer had gone before the police arrived. Negative. The killer had not gone before the police arrived. Interrogative. Had the killer gone before the police arrived? Negative interrogative. Had the killer not gone before the police arrived? Past perfect continuous. Affirmative sentences. With subject, we will use had been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object, and for the time frame, since or for. For the negative sentences, we will add not in the middle of had been. So it will be had not been. Sentences for past perfect continuous. Affirmative. She had been watching a reality show since evening. Negative. She had not been watching a reality show since evening. Interrogative. Had she been watching a reality show since evening? Negative interrogative. Had she not been watching a reality show since evening? Now aspects for future tense. The first aspect is future indefinite. For the formation of future indefinite for affirmative sentences, we have two auxiliaries, will and shall. With these auxiliaries, we will use first form of the verb and after that object. Will is going to be used with he, she, it, and they. Shall will be used with I and we. But nowadays, we are commonly using will with I and we also. For the negative sentences, we will add not after will and shall. Future indefinite. The sentences for future indefinite, affirmative. They will play under the sky. Negative. They will not play under the sky. Interrogative. Will they play under the sky? Negative interrogative. Will they not play under the sky? Next, future continuous. For future continuous, for the formative sentences, with subject, singular or plural, the auxiliaries are will, shall, and with that we will use be, plus first form of the verb, plus ing, and after that object. For the negative sentences, we will add not in the middle of will be and shall be. So it will be will not be, shall not be. Sentences for future continuous tense. Affirmative. He will be taking tea in the evening. Negative. He will not be taking tea in the evening. Interrogative. Will he be taking tea in the evening? Negative interrogative. Will he not be taking tea in the evening? Future perfect. Affirmative sentences. The main auxiliaries will and shall, and with that we will use have. Now here one point to remember is that we will not use has auxiliary. We will always use have with will and shall. Then as it's future perfect tense, so the form will be third form of the verb. and after that object. For the negative sentences, the structure will be shall not have, will not have, and third form of the verb. Now sentences for future perfect, affirmative. You will have finished your assignment before watching the movie. Negative. You will not have finished your assignment before watching the movie. Interrogative. Will you have finished your assignment before watching the movie? Negative interrogative. Will you not have finished your assignment before watching the movie? Now the last aspect in future tense is future perfect continuous. For the formation of affirmative sentences, with the subject singular or plural, will have been, shall have been will be used. And along with that, first form of the verb plus ing plus object and plus since or for. For the negative sentences, shall not have been and will not have been. Sentences for future perfect continuous. Affirmative. Her grandmother will have been suffering from anxiety since 1990. Negative. Her grandmother will not have been suffering from anxiety since 1990. Interrogative. Will her grandmother have been suffering from anxiety since 1990? Negative interrogative. Will her grandmother not have been suffering from anxiety since 1990? An important point to remember here for the negative interrogative sentences is the placement of not. So to remember, always place not right after the subject. Now there are two exercises for the practice of all these tenses. Fill in the blanks with the correct verse given in the brackets. Exercise 2. Change the following sentences into negative sentences. Thank you so much for watching.